Shut up and sit down. Shut up and sit down.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to another episode of Build, Paint, Play. I'm Dave.
Greetings, programs. I'm Jake. Today, we don't have any live guests this week, but we have two pre-recorded interviews that Dave did. We've done this before. We did this with Matt Hart when we were at Adepticon, and we've done some pre-recorded stuff, so we're going to do that tonight.
We did a few pre-recorded interviews when I was over in the UK last year.
Yep.
It was just weird, like in the prep for the show.
Yeah.
It's like normally I'm like, okay, cool. 6:30. I'm in the studio. I'm ready. I invite the guest, invite Jake. The guest arrives. We talk for like 45 minutes. Jake shows up. We go live. But this is a little bit different tonight. So excuse me if my flow is kind of strange.
It's all good.
Excellent. We say hi to Mark Maxey, Patrick Keith. We know both of them are in the chat. We're going to few other folks in. Say hi if you were there. Jake, crazy weather times.
Yeah, there's it's been really, really hot here in Boston for the last couple of days. Like normally we don't get this kind of weather till like the real summer. It was 92 yesterday. It was 94 today. It's supposed to be like 92 tomorrow. Which is just like that's not super hot for New England, but that's wild for this early in the summer. Like for May, that's unheard of. It's almost like climate change is real.
Perhaps.
But yeah, like I got home from work and was pulling in the driveway and I was like, oh, it's a little overcast because it was like 6 something when I got home. So my wife's like, I'm gonna take the dogs out. Takes the dogs out, come back in. It's super overcast now, and the sky just opened up. So it is pouring like crazy. There's a thunderstorm rolling through. So I'm hoping it doesn't like affect our internet too bad, but like we'll see. So if I drop out, that's what it is.
Yeah. Fantastic. Patrick says it's storming like Norman here.
Yeah.
In Texas. And Josh says it's hotter than Boston. It's hotter in Boston than Southern Ohio.
Yeah, that's not supposed to happen. Not yet.
No, not yet. For sure. It's been pretty much the same sort of thing here. So, but I think we're due for our big storm tomorrow. So, like kind of crazy. Have you been busy? Been doing much?
Yeah, just doing a lot of prep stuff. Like I'm trying to get stuff lined up. So next week I go to ACD Expo. So I leave on Tuesday. So next week I will not be here. Dan Osborne will be filling in for me again. I think this is the third time he's covered for me now. I think
third or fourth, something like that.
Yep. But so he'll be here. But yeah, just trying to line stuff up, get stuff prepped. Upstairs, my plan tomorrow is to get all of the Noble team finished building and prime. They're really nice kits. Like they're really good quality, but there's like a decent amount of like not mold lines, but like excess in a couple spots. We like cut them off the sort of the sprue.
Right.
But yeah, I just want to finish getting those prepped and get them ready to go, and then I'll work on those a little bit this week, and then I'll be gone for a week, and then when I come back, I'll finish them up. But my plan is to get those done so that they can go out to Origins. I think one of my regulars at my shop is going to be going, so I'm going to I'm going to pack them really carefully and be like, deliver these to the Mantic booth. They'll be on display at the Mantic booth, but I'll get some photos before I send them out and stuff.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be good. Excellent. Dave Hummel has joined us. Luis is here as well. And Josh says Mantic is across from us at Origins.
Nice.
So
you'll get to see him in person, Josh.
Excellent. Well, I got in a game of Warhammer: The Old World last week.
Nice. You're playing your Cathay?
With my Cathay.
Okay.
Against Chaos Dwarves.
Okay.
So against my buddy Eric, he hosts our every other Wednesday game night. And we're playing 1250 points now.
Okay.
So I had just enough points to be able to slide in my Cathayan Sentinel, and got to see how that went.
How does it work in the game? Is it like a war machine or is it like a giant?
It's like a giant. It has, it has a toughness and a number of wounds and a saving throw and that kind of thing. It was kind of. I was a little bit worried about it because it only has 6 wounds and a toughness of 6. Turns out that's pretty good. I think if I had, and it only has a 5+ armor save. So there were a couple of times where it was like, if I'd failed just 1 or 2 more armor saves, I would have been gone. But
does it want to fight? Does it want to fight like big guys, or does it want to fight like hordes?
It can do both.
Okay.
It has a like a strike.
And
so you
sweep.
get like 3 attacks at like significant strength and multiple wounds per attack, or the sweep, which is 3 attacks plus 2d3 attacks at strength 6 or 7, which is pretty brutal.
Sure.
So the first, and then it has stomp attacks as well at the end of the turn. But if you do the sweep, it strikes last.
Sure.
So I had to sort of charge in, take the hits from the Chaos Dwarves with halberds, which then they did pretty well. And then the first sweep and stomp, I took out like 10 of them out of a unit of like 19. Took 10 of them out, and then the second round of combat, I took 7. And of course, after that, they fled. But
Was he running the Brazen Bull thing?
No. Oh no, that's a Age of Sigmar thing.
Oh right. Okay.
The Decimator engine or whatever it's called. Yeah. But it was pretty good. That kind of made up on the right flank for my cavalry on the left flank, which charged into some Chaos Dwarves and bounced off.
That's not supposed to happen with cavalry.
Yeah, I say bounced off, but it's more sort of all of them were destroyed except for my leader. So except for my general. It was a pretty brutal game, but we had a lot of fun. So
do you have any of the Cathayan war machines, like the bombard thing or the cannon or
the cannon? Yeah. So the grand cannon.
I'm assuming that did some work.
I did a little bit of work. I'm finding that the cannonball itself is kind of tough because the size of the games we're playing at the moment, we don't have a lot of deep units.
Right.
But I did find out that grape shot can be really nice if you roll well on that artillery dice. So I managed to grape shot a unit of hobgoblin skirmishers out of existence.
Yeah, they hobgoblin skirmish units tend to not like cannon fire.
Yeah. And a unit of orc biggins or whatever they are in that list is, I think I killed 2 of it with like 3 cannonballs. And then when they were close enough for grape shot, I took out like 4 of them with grape shot.
gross.
How
do your like regular like line units shape up? Are they decent?
The Jade Warriors are
Yeah.
good. Yeah, Jade Warriors are nice. They've got good weapon skill. They've got the halberds, and halberds pretty brutal in the new, like with the recent update that they did. So particularly on the charge, they're good on the charge.
Taking the charge?
No. When you charge with them, they get like a bonus to their strength, like an additional bonus to the strength and a bonus to their armor penetration.
Nice.
So they go to strength 5, AP -2. So that's pretty good. And the leadership and the that sort of thing for them is good too. The peasant levy, on the other hand,
I mean, come on, they're they're not going to be good.
Not so much. But I mean, you can get 40 archers for 160 points. So
yeah, they're the same as like Bretonnian peasant bowmen or like Empire militia. Like they're anything that's not a normal unit is going to be not good. Like that's just like that's how they work.
For sure. But so yeah, it was kind of crazy that I could have had like 60 archers for the same cost of that Thayan Sentinel.
Yeah,
pretty wild.
I mean, again, the Russian army understands, quantity is a quality all of its own.
Exactly.
You're like, well, these guys are shitty archers, but I do get 60 shots. And you're like, okay, it's like, or I could take, a unit of Lothern Guard, who it's a unit of 12 and they're really good, but boy, are they expensive.
Yep. Absolutely. Excellent. Cool. So, Cat Swift has joined us as well. Hi, Cat.
What's up, Cat?
I think we've got everybody in there. She said, good afternoon, fellas. So just a cozy chat day. Love it. Yep, we've got those pre-recorded interviews, which we'll bring them up in a minute. We've got some great, loads of great conversation there with Alfonso Gilraldes, aka Banshee, who is a spectacular painter who's been sort of a cornerstone of the miniature painting community around the globe for a long time. Done all sorts of cool stuff. Not all of it that we covered during the conversation. And then we've got Anastasia Loukrezi as well. And she's a fantastic artist. Great mind for composition and lighting. We talk about her early sort of forays into art and sort of where that came from, and then why she picked up miniature painting and that kind of thing. So we've got that. And then we've got, of course, all of our fantastic miniatures from the Facebook community group. So,
Jake, Dave, that's exactly why we did it this way. They are both not anywhere near our time zone.
Yeah, at the moment it is 2:15 a.m. in Athens, where Anastasia is, and unfortunately, I'm not paying her enough for these books to stay up past 2 a.m.
And I would assume is Banshee in Spain?
Banshee's in Spain, and so it's 1:15 a.m.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, and he's got a young son, so there's no staying up late that anymore. But yeah, there we go. Should we jump in?
Yeah, let's get stuck in. What are we doing?
Let's get stuck in. Okay, cool. Clicking all the buttons, sharing the screens, doing that wonderful stuff. Here we go. So first up, of course, thank you very much to the Army Painter, who are our season sponsors, and Jake and I are on the factory team, putting up here the Arena Challenge. We've mentioned it a couple of times in recent episodes, but there's a post up on the Trenchwire, on the Trench Crusade website, which talks about the Arena Challenge. Jake and I are both taking part. And a little bit later on, you'll get to see some photos of some of the minis that we've been working on for that. It's very cool. So yeah, Trench Crusade team, the Army Painter Factory team, the Army Painter team, Baron of Dice, and Trench Titans are all involved in this. So it should be a lot of fun.
Very cool.
As we go, we'll get to see a lot of different approaches, which will be cool. Next up, of course, mentioning the art of volume 16, 17, and 18. Alfonso and Anastasia are two of the authors for that, which is why we've got them on tonight. This was a little while ago. We have passed the $57,000 mark, 564, 65 backers at the moment. So chugging along, we kicked off on Friday, and things are looking good. We're excited about where things are going.
Very nice.
So very cool. Link for that is down below. If you want to go and check out the Kickstarter and back it. Next up, Alfonso. I thought I'd show a couple of his pieces, a couple of these recent pieces.
Dude, that's awesome.
Well, yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
He's one of those Italian. The Spaniards and the Italians, they all love like the oils mixing back and forth and all the skin tones. Like,
yep, the incredible depth, the depth
crazy.
of color in everything there is just amazing. I'm pretty sure he did this for box art, but
I mean, his armor is not the most effective armor I've ever seen.
No,
this is some beefcake for the ladies out there. That's what this is. This is the equivalent of like the chainmail bikini on like the Barbarian girl. That's what this is for the.
Yeah, pretty much.
At first, I thought it was Namor because like Namor in Marvel Comics, like if the spear was a trident, right. I'm like, oh, this could be Namor. Namor basically rocks like pants, and like he usually has the armor plates on his shoulders, and then he's topless. So
right. Got the gladiatorial thing going on.
Yeah, Kate's like, I'm here for it. Like,
awesome. Very cool. There we go. Looking great. This fantastic bust.
That's super cool.
I really love the. There are a lot of fantastic pieces that a lot of people have been doing some fantastic work with, like two light source painting.
The lighting I mean, looking at it this way, the right hand side, the left side of the face is crazy because it looks like he's being lit from above because it's highlighting the inside of his nose, but then the upper edge of his eye.
Yeah.
So it's like, is his eye glowing? Like it's pretty wild.
There's probably some bounce.
Pretty cool.
But yeah, just it would be lit by the moon and a probably firelight over this side. I'm guessing maybe he set something on fire with that cigar of his. But it is a fantastic piece. I suspect one of your favorites, Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, of course.
Yep.
Yeah, this kind of looks like oh, I can't think of the artist. There's a Marvel artist who draws like a sort of a hyper realistic musculature.
Right.
I mean, they all do like the cartoon musculature, but his is like hyper realistic, and the face, especially all like the detail on the face. I can't think of who it is. It's not. It might be Simone Bianchi, but like this. A lot of times, the guys that'll carve the busts or do the busts, they base it on like a specific panel out of a comic. So this looks like it could be a Bianchi piece. So pretty neat.
Right. Yeah, it is awesome, isn't it? Spotted Dan Osborne in there as well. Hi, Dan.
Wild Dan Osborne appears.
He says, wild. There we go. I love this piece as well. It's sort of beautifully subtle.
The swords on the brooch are a little oversized. Like that seems dangerous.
This is true. Perhaps that's not subtle, but just everything else. There's a look of trepidation there.
Yeah,
that person is worried. That elf is worried. But again, beautiful work.
Very cool.
And then I wanted to throw this one in.
Oh yeah, we've seen that one before.
Yep. So yeah, on the left there is Alfonso's Blood Pact trooper that he sculpted. Oh, a long time ago. I can't remember exactly when, but he won a trophy in Golden Demon with that piece, and then of course his recent gold trophy for the open category with Ibram Gaunt.
Gaunt's the man. Did you see? Speaking of commissars, did you see that they're releasing the best commissar?
The second best. They've already released the best, so they're working their way through.
Yeah, sure. Okay, sorry. The most powerful character in the 40K lore.
Okay, right. Yeah. I won't challenge you on that. But,
dude, he's the best. I cannot wait. Like, I think he looks amazing. Like, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, so Yarrick is the first sort of named comic star to come out. He's been around forever. They just released a new version of him, so that's the new one from Armageddon. I think it's the third version of Yarrick they've done. I think there's the pinchy like lobster claw guy, and then there's the one with the true orc claw, and now there's the new one, which is just an update of the same one. It's hilarious. He has this tiny little servo arm on the back. Like I'm like, guys, he's like 80. Like how is he holding up this claw that's bigger than he is? But so he's out. And then they've done Gaunt now. Finally, they did Gaunt a couple years ago with that box of the first and only. It's like him and like 5 or 6 characters. I still cannot believe that they haven't just released a box of like Tanith, like just dudes you could run as Tanith. Like it's crazy to me. But yeah, for the longest time, Caiaphas Cain is one of the coolest characters in like all of the books. Like it's the closest to humor you will get in an Imperial book. There's some orc stuff that's kind of wacky and has some funny stuff in it. And some of the Gotrek and Felix books have some humor in them, but there's no like humor. And it is literally like Kelly's Heroes or Hogan's Heroes. It's written, but it's written in a really serious style. And I tell people all the time, the reason the books are so great, Caiaphas Cain is supposed to be this like legendary hero of the Imperium, and he's now retired. And you are reading his memoirs, but when you read them, they're like rough drafts. So the one character is written in 3 voices. So there's Caiaphas Cain, hero of the Imperium. You can like, he has this, his fists on his hips, and he has like his peaked cap like cocked to the one side, and he's like forward, sons of the Imperium. And then you've got Caiaphas is like a side notes, and that's like him being real. It's like as my men and I, without trepidation, investigated the evil hive world. He's like, I was terrified because there was a rumor that there were Necrons there. So there's his voice, and then there's the Inquisitor, who is the editor of the book, who is like correcting stuff and remove it, like sort of blacking out things. And then there's her take on why they're there, and she gives a lot of detail. It's phenomenal. They're so good. But yeah, finally, Cain will have an actual character, and he comes with his little attaché, who's great. He has a melt-a-gun, and he's a pariah, I think. So like nobody wants to go near him. He's like off-putting, and Cain kind of understands that and keeps him around because he knows it keeps him safe. I just love that they finally are like, we're gonna put him out as a character. I was like, yes. So I gotta get that. That'll be awesome.
Excellent.
He's the best.
Cool. Okay. Next up, then, let's have a chat.
All right.
So sit back, relax. If you have some questions about Banshee's work, let me know, or type them into the chat. We'll answer them through there. We'll have a break about halfway through, and we can answer any other questions, and then we'll jump back into it. So here we go. I hope this works. Fingers crossed. Wait, is it playing?
It's not doing anything.
Hey, hello, everybody. I'm here speaking with Alfonso Gilraldes, Banshee. We're going to be talking about a whole bunch of different things. We're going to talk about some of his early miniature painting career. We're going to talk about art direction. We're going to talk about all the stuff that he's got planned for his volume of the Art of series. So good morning, good afternoon. How's it going?
Hi, good morning, good afternoon. It's fine. I'm happy to be here.
Fantastic. Awesome. So I think we'll jump right in, and I'll just say miniature painting. When did you come to miniature painting? What's your earliest recollection of getting excited about painting toy soldiers?
I think I've been forever, because I started with 12, like almost every child, falling in love with Warhammer 40K. Starting to paint in my own army. I think I started before with some miniatures from Dungeons and Dragons or something like that. Right. But it's not like a clear starting point. I remember going to a local store and finding those beautiful high elves, metal, the ones that were like this, the spearmen.
Yeah.
And trying to paint them with some esmaltes. I don't know, like animals.
All right. Yep.
Yeah.
The testers and that sort of thing.
So it was like a very natural way to introduce myself into the miniature world community with some magazines, role-playing magazines. I think that like probably like almost everyone.
Yeah.
And then the major thing, it was that all my friends, they used to play very well. I've been always like a terrible player in every field, like video games, war games, table games, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm really bad, but I was always very inclined to drawing, painting, even sculpting. I did my first sculpts with just like clay when I was maybe 8 or something, so everything was very early. And then I found this hobby that allowed me to explore my inclination, my skills, or my interest in a very fun way, because I was very used to go to museums since I was very little. My father was a very big art lover, and he used to take me to many museums. I remember since I was 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah.
Like almost every month we went to visit a museum. I don't know how many times we went to the Prado Museum here in Spain. It's one of the best, especially specialized in medieval, Renaissance, and Baroque painting.
Right.
It has more, but it's more like focused on this.
Yeah.
And I just found something that, like connected my interest with art.
Yep.
With those like fantasy worlds, the lore, all the background that I could read, and that it got me, it catched me, it caught me, and it was like a perfect combo, and from there I just painted, and it was like very natural to me. I won an award. There was this Youngblood award in the Warhammer stores.
Okay.
Yeah. So I won it when I was 12. And I was already like highlight in that super small miniature community, because it was surprising for them to see a 12-year-old guy that painted pretty decently.
Right.
And then I left it for a few years when I discovered girls.
Right.
And it was a different period of my life.
Yep.
Skinny, handsome, wanting to explore different worlds.
Sure.
And at some point when I entered in the university, I started to study advertising, because my instinct was to become an artist, but I was scared of it. And somehow, this common idea that an artist will starve,
Right.
by starvation. So I thought like, well, maybe advertising is a field that, where you can have a decent job, slightly related with art or creation.
Yeah.
And while I was studying it, I needed money. And I remember like, hey, like those stores where I used to have so much fun, that might be like a good first job,
Right. Sure.
So then I applied for Games Workshop, and I entered in Games Workshop as a part, like a key timer, like a part job.
Working. Yep.
And that was the starting point. And then I discovered the Golden Demon. I fell in love with it. I started participating in open category because I was part of the company.
Yeah.
And the rest is story.
It's history. That's great. I think that's amazing that I started painting. There's a lot of similarities, which is kind of crazy between what we.
I think it's very common, it's like we can mimic each other. The progression is pretty much the same.
Yep. It is wild. I know that I specifically found like Warhammer miniatures when I was already in university, but I was doing graphic design again.
Okay.
Art, and there's a job at the end of it, you could see. So yeah, that's quite.
And you end up working as a graphic designer?
Well, now I kind of am, but not immediately. Like when I finished my degree, I was working in a Games Workshop store originally as a key timer and then a full timer.
Same thing.
Yep. That's why. But at the time, we didn't have Golden Demon in Australia at all. So my path diverged a little bit.
You were in Australia?
Yeah. Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Because I always related you to the US.
Right. Oh no. Yeah. It wasn't until 2002 that I moved to the US.
Oh no. Okay.
Yeah. So this,
nice.
It's
I didn't know you were an Aussie.
It's very cool that we've got that. There's that additional connection there. But so, did you after your university days? Did you go into into advertising? And
I did a master degree in graphic design.
Right. Okay.
Because even though I realized that wouldn't be my ideal future, because I didn't enjoy the degree. You know, like I spent 5 years that turned into 7, just because it was a very easy career degree, but I was not interested. Right. You know, like I have a lot of subjects that were like, really, do I have to learn about, I don't know, stupid things, in my opinion, because my university was a public university, and I always thought that what they were teaching, it was from like 20 years before, you know what I mean? So it was not connected with the reality of the job. You know, it's like, why should I learn how to, I remember this, I don't know the name, this kind of like ruler to count the typo, no, the typography.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know how it's called.
Yeah.
And I thought like, this is bullshit. Like nobody used this. It's like, why they don't show me Illustrator or Photoshop? Why don't we have more practice? Why is all about theoretical? The marketing studies about, I don't know, how the population, and it's like, bro, I want to paint. I want to create ideas. I want to really develop into the artistic side of it. Don't get me wrong. I understand that there are other sides of that business, you know, more focus on marketing, on social studies and things like that. But that was not for me, you know. So what I found out is that I was losing my time, and I had way more excitement working first on a store, then traveling and meeting people, painting for my own, starting to paint for collectors, starting to give my first classes that because that was maybe, I entered in the degree in the 2000.
Okay.
And I think that my first painting classes that I taught, it was 2003 or something like that. So as soon as I started winning my first Golden Demon, and I saw that there was a space for teaching, because people in the stores, as I lived the experience as a key timer and then a full timer, and I saw that everything was explained under like full recipes with no reasoning. And then I thought like, well, actually there's something that I do well, that I'm naturally inclined to do that. I enjoy teaching because I was already doing it for the shop. Right. So when I was in my last years of the career of the degree, I left the shop. I had other works. I tried to do other works to somehow like convince me to go through the more stereotype, kind of job. Something that was more accepted, because back then there was no career for miniature painters. It's like nobody lived out of this except of maybe 10 people in the world in very specific companies, of course, including Games Workshop. That was probably like the biggest. But then all the display model companies that I was already very connected with that, because that was the thing that somehow it changes. I'm mixing the time, but changed my mentality of how I perceive the models, because I discovered then the historical models. And I was like, holy shit, like this is a new world, in topics that I was always interested. Because, one of my doubts when I had to take the decision of what to do, what to study, I was already thinking about maybe art history, maybe history. So I discovered the historical painters, and then that was like, well, that's a completely different mindset, a different way of painting. It's also very recipe based, but they explore things that were more complex, like ambience, like, I don't know, like a more realistic interpretation,
Right.
More dramatic lighting.
Yeah.
So like all these things in my head while I was studying, and I started to have my first professional jobs, you know, like starting working in Andrea Miniatures also as a part-time job.
Yeah.
Starting on the summers, you know. Then I was proposed to join a new project that then it was called Night Models, you know.
Right.
That became one of the milestones of the miniature history. And I was also part of the first fantasy line ever created as an external, because, you know, I was going there almost every day, and I saw how this grew up from nothing. That was created by Jose Manuel Palomares for Andrea Miniatures. It was called Warlord Saga, the first 54 millimeter scale fantasy line, the very first in history. Because back then I was already working for Andrea Miniatures sometimes, you know, going there to do maybe an article, maybe to paint something for a collector, maybe to help, you know. And of course I was learning a lot. And so, you know, it was like a very, I don't know what's the word for this, like turbulent or like very moving moment of my life, when I didn't know exactly where to go, you know. Like in one hand I have my degree, I'm finishing, but it's taking me 7 years instead of 5, not because I'm dumb, it's just because I just don't like it at all. I have to I have to finish because it's like my obligation, but at the same time I am very inclined into miniatures, and I am already doing my first professional jobs. I'm already starting to teach as a side job that I could do every now and then in different stores, and it was good money and creating also a community towards my teaching, that now many of them are either professionals or you know, like relevant people in the industry, because, you know, we together we created a community. And all these things were at the same time. This was between 2003 and 2006, something like that. And then my 2 first slider swords, well, the only ones that I have, they were both in 2006.
Right.
And that was like a moment of like global recognition. It wasn't as big as it is right now, but still, you know, in all the magazines, being interviewed. By the way, we also created at that exact time, like the Spanish Team Forum, which was the biggest forum in the world of miniatures, by far. It was fucking crazy. So a lot of things, you know, that they were coexisting with my studies. And that somehow advice from the elder people that tell you, do a serious job, you know, like miniatures is not a job. It's like, would you be able to live out of this? It's like, maybe you should focus on the advertising. So then I said, okay, let's study a master's degree on graphic design. And then I spent 1 year and I realized that's not for me.
Right.
You know? I mean, it could be an addition. It could be something that I can enjoy sometimes. And it could be definitely a very important tool that actually after 20 years, it has become one of the main things for me, even as an income. I've been, like recently 1 hour ago, I told you I was doing art direction with some students. And this is also thanks to that master degree that, you know, like pointing that digital direction, let's say. But at the same time, I was realizing that, you know, I want to be 100%, you know, full-time artist. And I remember this day, I was then working because I did a couple of different jobs. I was in different graphic design companies. And I remember this company where I was doing stupid graphics for a Flash website.
Right.
For the new, the young people, they will not know what is this, but you know what it is. It was the previous way to do an animation in website, with movement and things going on. And I remember doing this super silly, never-ending process of doing it was a world map where you could click in every capital and it was giving you information. So mostly I was doing the data, like copy pasting for 3 weeks,
Yeah, sure.
And I remember going back home at 11 at night thinking, like, if I have to do this the rest of my life, I kill myself. I don't want to, I'm thinking just about sculpting, designing my own models. And then I said, you know what? Like, let's try it. Let's try it. And that was the moment where Night Models appeared. So it was a coincidence. And they told me, like, we have this new project. We're going to work with licenses, with Marvel, Star Wars. And I was like, whoa, that sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
And from there, it was my only job.
Fantastic. Well, that's great. Okay, what we'll do here is we'll take a quick break. And we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit more about how, I guess, some of those things that you learned during those years, specifically, I guess, like project management and art direction and that kind of thing, and how that has become an important part of what you're doing now.
Okay.
Cool. So we'll be back soon. Cool.
Dude, it is so wild to me how like other than like the degree, like so many of us have like the same story. It's like, yeah, I randomly found these models when I was doing something else when I was a kid and I really liked it, and then was in like the high school, college age, and I tell people all the time there's a gap, right? So there's always the gap. It's like when you hit a certain age, you get your license. You then are able to drink. You discover alcohol. You discover the opposite sex, or whatever you're into, and it's like that becomes like a 3 or 4 year chunk. And then you're still into that stuff, but you also realize like, oh, I also have downtime. I'm gonna go back to doing that thing that I did when I was a kid, and then you just keep doing it. Like it's insane. Also, the fact that he's like also worked at GW. I was like, okay, yeah, check. It's like, okay, okay, check. Like it is crazy. Like how that happened. Like I got picked up by GW literally right out of university. Like as I graduated, they offered me the full-time manager position the day I graduated.
Yep.
I think it's
mine was the day I graduated. Essentially, was my
so crazy
full time. But so many other things in there. When we was talking about the like at university when they were talking about the like typesetting sort of stuff.
Yeah, and you're like, I don't want to learn any of this stuff.
I went through that as well, and one of the guys in my class was like, "This is all great and stuff, but when are we going to like move on to computers?" And the teacher said, "Oh, computers are a fad." But that was 10 years before. 10 years before Banshee did that, so they were further behind there in Spain. But yeah, it was pretty amazing that all those things along the way. But there was that point where, because he was in Spain, in Madrid, and those coincidences, as he said, where at that point that's where his life and my life diverged. Because in Australia there was just one choice if you wanted to work in miniatures, and it was Games Workshop. But yeah, definitely cool.
It's so weird. Like literally, like I bet you could gather up. Like I would love to play that as a joke and literally get as many people that we know from like the painting like hobby thing and put all of us in a room and play a game. You're like, okay, everybody stand up. If I say something that applies to you, remain standing. It's like, I painted my first miniature when I was in like between the ages of like 8 and 10, and like literally everybody would say standing. It's like, and then I dropped out for a couple years when I hit high school. Everybody would say standing up. Then you'd be like, I also worked at Games Workshop. Like it'd be like 90% of us would still like it's so weird.
Yeah, I gotta admit, I never had that break. I never had the gap.
Really? Oh, see, I definitely did. I definitely
played D&D all through high school and painted figures for that. But then I found Games Workshop after high school. I found it.
Yeah. I mean, GW was a weird thing. Like I I've told you this before. Like I started playing D&D minis. That's how I got into painting. Like I was painting D&D stuff, and then I was at a D&D like show, and a guy had the RTB01, and I was like, oh, but like this is got to be like 85, 86. So was Glen Burnie open then?
I have no idea.
I don't think so. I don't think there were any US stores. So I had never seen it before. Like nobody carried that kind of stuff really. So I got into it a little bit. And then when I was in middle school or high school, I think I remember talking to my local hobby shop where I bought all my D&D stuff and, you know, USS Enterprise and models and stuff. I was like, hey, do you guys carry Games Workshop? And the guy was like, how do you know about Games Workshop? And at the time, you know, Dragon Magazine still had advertisements in it, and White Dwarf, they did a lot of crossover stuff. So I was like asking if you could order stuff. But yeah, I definitely got into Warhammer stuff like later. And then when I got back into it, I remember walking by a store and they had like an armor cast Warhound and a little diorama in the window. And I was like, oh, that's Games Workshop. And I like went in, and that's when I got back into it. But it was weird. There was definitely a gap because also like availability too, I think. Like,
yeah.
Like it existed where you were. Like, were there Games Workshop stores when you were a kid, or were they just like hobby?
Oh no, they opened in. So I was 20 by the time the first Games Workshop store opened in Australia. Yeah, so
this is wild.
Absolutely, but let's continue. Oh, just quickly though, there we go. Yeah, Kate said I got into Warhammer in '85. Never looked back.
Yep.
Kat said, Dave, you didn't discover girls. Didn't do the discover girls high school phase. I went to high school and I discovered girls in high school, but at the same time, I also hung out with my friends. I didn't abandon them like everybody else appears to have.
I mean, I didn't abandon my friends, but like we were all doing the same thing.
Absolutely. But yeah. Okay. Let's keep going. There we go. Watch the seamless edit.
Very nice.
There we go. Excellent. Okay, and we're back talking with Alfonso again about his miniature career. I think it's always wonderful when I get to call it a career because, sorry, one thing I will just interrupt here for a second is there was a point where somebody popped their head in the door. Like while we were on that little break, somebody popped their head in the door, and Alfonso asked them for a coffee. So they went and got him a coffee and brought it back in, and it was Victor Aguilar, who's a spectacular painter, spectacular sculptor,
Nice.
and a bunch of fantastic pieces that Eric Swinson has done in the last couple of years were collaborations with Victor Aguilar. So he was like, "Hi Dave, how you doing? It's nice to meet you." And I'm like, "Oh, cool! This is crazy." So it was funny that they just happened to be in the same room at the same time. Anyway,
That's pretty weird.
Let me get back to that. Where's the? Okay, hello everybody. I'm here speaking with Alfonso Gilraldes, Banshee. We're going to be talking about a whole bunch of different things. We're going to talk about some of the
things, and also how I somehow got to a point where I had a very big crew of people following my classes and my articles in the different forums. And I also was always, and that was one of the main influence, something very...
the amount of work that you've done with teaching, like teaching classes, teaching individually, that kind of thing. What sort of drew you to that? What gave you that sort of that passion, that fire?
Both my parents are teachers.
Okay.
I think that's the spark of it. My mom is a kids teacher.
Yep.
Like she was. Yep. Like she's alive, but I mean she was a teacher when she was working. Like 4 or 5 years old. And then my father was a university teacher in sociology. So I always admired them a lot because of that, because they had like two very different perspectives of how to teach. And somehow I came up with a combination of both.
Right.
So that turned into something very natural to me to teach and to explain things. And I was also very passionate about reflecting about the processes, because one of the main differences between then and now, it's that before everything was based on recipes, and there were only a very few masters that they developed their own method, no, like Bill Oran, Mike Blanc, considering like the historical painters, or Mike McVeigh, then the French painters that came up with a different style, with a different aesthetic proposal. And because I was traveling for so many years and connecting with so many people, and that was one of the main influences that I loved. I mean, I'm a traveler. I've been always a traveler. I think it's in my spirit. It's my way of connecting with the world, traveling, meeting people, speaking with them, and trying to understand how they think different than me. And somehow I make like a combo of this, I just put it all together. And it was just very natural. And I realized that I did it well, like people enjoy it. And the workshop started to be very successful. And I somehow got to a point where I had a very big crew of people following my classes and my articles in the different forums. And I also was always very bold in terms of expressing myself, sometimes in a very aggressive way and very direct, very straightforward, which with the years, I think I've learned to tame it a little bit. And now it's more justified under the weight of my career and the knowledge that people think that I have,
right,
and that I gained with the years. But even when I started, I was very self-confident in the way of how I explain the things, and also how I somehow question the methods, how I also talk to my fellow painters or my boss, in Andrea, and asking them like, okay, but why do you do that? And I remember maybe asking Julio Cabos, and he was telling me, no, use these colors for the leather. I was like, okay, but why? Why these colors and not others? Oh, because this is the way. No, but explain me. Like, oh, because this leather works like this, and that. Okay, that's the interesting part. Like, then can I translate it in different ways? Why would you do that? Because if I have more ways to do it, then I have more ways to explain it, and then my knowledge is more well-rounded.
Right.
So I don't know how to do things by mimicking or copying or replicating, instead of by understanding the fundamentals, the foundation of everything, and the basis of everything. And I realized that that was a lack in the miniature world.
Right. Yep.
That nobody questioned why. They just did it, like following the articles and the magazines, following there were no video tutorials. It was everything was written, And one of the main game changers, I was working for Andrea, doing articles, and I was forced to lie. And behind my ethical perspective, it's not that I'm a saint, but I always learn through my parents to be fully transparent and honest, especially on the teaching, because in my house, it's been always very important. Like the thing that was more important, it was to be honest with the students, because they were both teachers, and they were very concerned and very committed to treat the student with respect, and not to treat people like if they are dumb, instead of teaching them how to fish and not giving them the fish,
Right. Yep.
And somehow that is what creates the seed in me of becoming a teacher. And aside of this, I also enjoy it. It's very rewarding emotionally, and like energy-wise, it's very rewarding. So, it happened very naturally. So I started to do more classes, more articles, more explanations in the different forums, traveling more, exchanging more, spending time with other painters in France, in England, in Germany, meeting some of the big names on the industry right now, Jeremy Bonamant, Jacques-Alexandre Gillois, Alan Carrasco, many, Fabrizio Russo, many. everywhere. Joe Hill, Mark Tide, many, you know.
Yeah.
With some of them were more closer to me. Some of
yeah.
them less, but you know, but I had a lot of very intense experiences that somehow made a setup, you know.
Right.
And then this added to my mindset and what I've learned from my parents. I thought there's actually a big gap between the professionals and the amateurs,
Right.
because they don't know how we do things, and specifically why we do those things.
Right. Yep.
So if I can bring something to the people, then the hobby will grow also. Because I was very surprised of how naive and small the miniature world was. You know, it's like,
right.
I was seeing people like Jacques-Alexandre Gillois, two-time Slider Sword winner, amazing artist with amazing ideas. He draws like a god, sculpt like amazing, paint amazing. And then I was thinking, like, how a guy like this is not a rock star, you know? How a guy like this is not, and like him, many others, Raúl Latorre, Alan Carrasco, is like, these people, I mean, this has to grow, because what we do is actually, and now is 100 times better than then. But I was feeling that there was the necessity to become professionals, you know?
Right. Yep.
To start getting paid, to start having contracts, and because that didn't exist. That's the truth.
Yeah.
Now things has changed a lot, you know? And that was also the starting point for the industry to start creating small projects, and then they develop. So it was like the seed of a tree that was starting to create branches, you know?
Yep.
And I was part of this since the beginning. So it was like a natural journey.
Yeah. No, that's great. I think you can never underestimate how much how valuable that time at conventions, at classes, talking with other people about what's going on, about how they do things, how you do things, what they're planning, or what they're thinking of for the future. It's incredibly valuable to get those ideas and see the landscape and understand where things could go, and then
100%.
be able to make those steps towards it.
And also, sorry to interrupt.
No, go for it.
Is because that's something that, because we don't have history books of the miniature, it is too young, probably. And probably you are one of the very first who is doing something that somehow like creates a memorabilia, you know,
Sure.
an idea of the history of miniatures. Europe has been always the place where the level was higher and more concentrated. I'm not saying that there are not great painters in the US or in Australia or in Asia. They are, and they are starting to be more and more. That's part of the evolution.
Yep.
But here in Europe, the core was here, you know, because it's a smaller place where people are more condensated. Yep. And where many different schools happen at the same time. And we start to travel all at the same time. The Spanish team, the French team, the UK team, the German team, Italians, you know, people from North Europe. And we started to combine. So what happened is that we weren't aware that we were starting a generation. And now if I tell you, like, I could tell you like 20 or 30 names that they are all essential parts of the machinery, of the industry. They are working for Games Workshop, you choose Kingdom Death, whatever, you know, like every company, they have some of these people that belong to the exact same moment as me.
Yep.
So now that we realize, and I've been like last year, I was teaching in the Figo Stock some classes that Jeremy Bonamant organized in Lyon, and we were looking back together, Jeremy, Romain van der Bogart, and myself, and we were sharing a beer and thinking like, bro, like we look back and it's like we were like 20 years ago, we were literally eating pizza while taking everybody's miniatures all together in a restaurant, being maybe 50, 80 people sharing their work with pizza. you know, like not serious. No, like the healthiest competition. There was some tension, of course, you know, like we wanted to win, but it was all about that moment of sharing. And this is something that the people who live that, I mean, I have goosebumps because that was so special. We were not aware of how special it was, because then this disappeared with the years. You know what I mean? In Spain, we made a meeting prior to the Golden Demon. We were 120 people in the same dinner, 120 painters, all sharing our ideas. And, you know, and that was part of this idea of the seed and then the community towards the Spanish Team Forum and all the foreigns that they came to our. So it was all the time. It was a way that we were mixing and we were connecting and we were developing ideas and collaborations and starting new projects, like very small companies. Hey, let's do my project and you paint for me for free just because we like each other. And then I travel to your country and I spend 1 week with you. And this was essential for what is now. Because when you see how the miniature, for people that don't know me, they might think this is like I don't know, like the grandfather telling you the stories of the war, no? But the truth is that the pictorial illustration like styles that we see right now, the diversity, it all started back then. You know, Kirill comes from there. As I said, like so many people come from them, and indeed, so many of the actual professionals, the top players, they were students of us, or they have been students of our students. So it was really the seed for what happened now. So somehow, you know, I have the feeling that we unconsciously we conquered that world and we turn it into a professional industry. With many people, not me, you know, many people or a few people, you know, a group of people, and the ones that we are still relevant, you know, is really because we have been working so fucking hard for 20 plus years. You know.
Speaking of the small companies, I'm very cognizant of the time. Let's just very quickly talk about Miniature Art Academy and what you're doing there, and then how that work, that time, that development is going to be represented in your book. So let's talk about those two things.
So for a decade, I was always thinking, how can I translate my teaching to the world in the most effective way? And there were no a medium for doing that. And then some projects started, like Painting Buddha, Ben Comet with his Patreon, that was probably the first. So then I said, like, well, maybe that's a good way to, you know, to teach worldwide, because I was already traveling after I was working a year in Portugal. And when I returned to the display world, the miniature world, I started to travel, but of course, like traveling, you can travel maybe once a month, maybe one every 2 months. So it was not fast enough to reach that many people. And at some point around 2018, 2019, something like that, I said, like, you know what, like I want to do my own Patreon. I want to do my idea of an academy. And I partnered with another guy, with David Basilisk. And we started to create this because I also need someone who could edit the videos and help me with the managing, because I'm terrible at managing anything. I'm a disaster. I'm super chaotic. So I could focus on just teaching. And at some point after, I don't remember, like 4 or 5 years or something, doing it on Patreon, I thought we need a website, because Patreon is not a good channel to teach with an academy mentality, because you cannot search. It's just, you know, you have to go down. So I need a video browser. I need something more structurized and like a different, different structure to be able to teach more and also bring more people, because I always thought that one of the keys for learning is understanding that diversity is so necessary. instead of this is my way of painting, because also this is how I learn in different companies. I learned from so many people that were so talented and with so many different styles, that what I learned in Andrea with Julio Cabos is so different than what I learned working side by side with Palomares in Night Models, or meeting people in Forgewall and seeing different ways of sculpting and doing mock-ups. And the thing is, because I've been part of so many different projects over these first 15 years of my career, either painting box arts or for collectors, and then sculpting also for companies, and then also in Forgewall doing my concept art, like drawing. Yeah. So I thought, like, I have an overview of everything, you know. Like I really can. I'm not the best at anything, but I'm pretty good at everything. You know what I mean? So then if I can translate this into a format that people can learn from in a cheap way, and with a certain structure, that could be an ideal.
Yep.
So then we move on to a website, and from there, this was 2021 or something, or 22, I don't remember, to be honest. Yep. Now this turned into a way more complex project where there are a few people working. You know, we have 3, 4, 5 teachers, depending, because some of them are in rotation. But it's Borhammer, the previous Slayers Tour winner in the US, is one of our main teachers. Javi Paints Minis, Andrea Droidena, and many others that has joined at certain points. We have videos by Eric Swinson, Marmas Clans, Roman Lapat, Lucas Taba, Rafa Guillen, Basilisk, you know, like many different painters. Now Mateo Diomede has done something for us. You know, like we are collecting David Arroba. Yeah, I will probably miss some of them, but so naturally it turned into something more and more complex, where I am now just like a part of it. You know, I was the founder, the creator of this, the CEO, and now there are other people who are managing it, and I am fully focused on teaching, painting, creating, and art directing, you know. Yep. And in the meantime, between the years that this was being developed, I also had the chance to work as an art director for Night Models back then for Skill 75 for many years in different periods, art directing external projects as well. And since I started with the Patreon, I started to do also private coaching. So under this private coaching, many painters had gone through at the beginning, like very big names, which it's not that they paint good because of me, but I think that I can say I'm proud to say that I've been like part of this development with good advices and with good art direction, and many people, you know, from Eric Swinson, Chris Sure, Anthony Wong, Alex Dos Santos, Rosanna Du, you know, like many different painters in different periods. Some of them, they stay with me for a few months. Some others, they have been like 8 years. Like Chris Sure is in my private coaching group for I think like 8 years already, you know.
Yep.
So somehow this is also a way for me that I found this is like my training, because I'm constantly training my brain and training my eye through teaching, coaching, art directing other people that might be better than me in specific areas.
Yep.
But because I have this overview and I have a very straightforward way of telling things.
Sure,
maybe it's not for everyone, to be honest.
Yep.
But it's true that I don't, you know, in the miniature world, we have a lot of complexes about criticism, about how to deal with that. I've been all my life very open to criticism, because I think that's the only way to improve.
Yeah.
The same I have received the hard criticism, and sometimes it's harder to accept than others. But I always loved a very frontal way, or straightforward, because then I don't have to filter. It's like, what's wrong? This is wrong. Why? Because this, and that. How can I improve this? Do you have these options? Are there other options? Yes, this painter do it in this other way. Okay, so then I start gathering this mentality, and this is what I translate to my students as well. So I'm like super fucking straightforward, and that gives results, to be honest, you know. So actually, I'm very lucky because I have the academy, which is more open because you never know who is the end, no, the final customer who is watching this. You don't have a direct interaction, which is the basic way of learning. And then I have a very specific and very close group of students, a waiting list of people that wants to join.
Yep.
Because not many leave the group because
sure,
it has result. And in this group, there are amazing painters, Erika Martio, as I said, Chris Ure, Anthony Wong, Yanni Versari, Kevin Witt, you know, like many people, Roxana, many people, Julian Oñate, and also new members that comes because, you know, they hear, they listen, and I'm recommended by, or they read your book and somebody talks about me or whatever, and they became curious about it. And well, the truth is that I'm just brutally honest, you know. So that's it, you know. And also the thing that I've never been biased by my own taste.
Yep.
Even when I have judged probably almost every contest in the world, from Golden Demon to Monte San Savino, like almost everything.
Yep.
And I am very, very, very honest and very critique with everything, also with myself.
Yep.
I've never been very biased by my own taste because I understand that art is about diversity. So I can enjoy movies that maybe the topic is not for me, or that maybe the style is not for me, or the way the narrative of the director is not for me. But if you have a wider perspective and you're open-minded, then you can judge each thing in their own context.
Yeah.
And that's the key for me, you know, to find what is the context and start to building it up, considering that context and what you want to try to represent and what is the kind of outcome that you want to go for. And from there, you know, I think that I have developed a special sensitivity for that, let's say that way. I don't know if it sounds very, I don't know, cocky or something, but I think that is like the most direct way to explain what I do and the way I do it.
Yeah. No, I think it's good. It's one of those things where over those many years of talking about that, and learning and understanding the way that you approach things, it's just that's one of the, I guess, the fortunate things that we get to do when we're working in something that we're very passionate about, is we get to have those conversations all the time and refine your understanding of what you do and how you do it. So fantastic.
But not everyone is open to that, and that's also what makes a difference between the people who progress and the people who doesn't progress, you know. And also in general, and to finish the statement, is how people react to the new things that they see. Because when I started the Fox Goodness thing many years ago, it was purely controversial, and there were a lot of people against that. And in my eyes, that was something normal coming from an art background, which is like fight against what is established to try to find new ways to explore that not necessarily are better, but they are different. And because they are different, they reach more audience because there are different tastes for everyone. Yep. So not everyone learn the same way. Not everyone understand things the same way. And it has to be a wide spectrum, you know, of ideas, aesthetics, styles, you know, and the more open-minded you are to observe, the easier will be for you to progress and also to find your own signature, let's say, you know. Which is something that many people ask me, like, how do I get my own style? And it's like, well, first try many things.
Try all the styles.
Because otherwise you don't know what do you like, you know, until you try, right? Otherwise you will be always stuck in that idea, like the old generations. Like my mom saying, I don't eat sushi because I don't like raw food. And it's like, have you tried sushi? No. So then how do you know if you like it or not? You know, that's the point.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's fantastic. Well, we're going to unfortunately have to wrap it up there. I think we'd definitely love to have you on as a guest in the future, where we can have a long conversation about we'll pick some specific topics that we can talk about. But
Whatever.
as always, Alfonso, it's been fantastic talking with you. I'm very excited to work on this book with you, and it's a fantastic campaign. And
I hope so.
Excellent.
Thanks for the opportunity. Thanks for the opportunity. To me, it's a pleasure and it's an honor to be part of this. I told you a year or 2 years ago that that was like a very great idea and something that was necessary in my opinion. So I'm super happy to be future part of it. So thank you very much.
No, fantastic. Thank you. There we go.
Pretty cool, dude. He seems like such a nice guy. Like, I think my first experience professionally with him was so I've never met Banshee, but my when we first opened the shop, Adam and I were carrying. Did he used to have a deal with? I want to say Scale.
He used to work. He has done some work for Scale, yeah.
Because he has his Banshee's color wheel set that I believe is put out by Scale. Like, probably, so we started carrying that, and it was a really, really clever. I don't want to say starter paint set because it's not a starter paint set. It's like a beginning. It's like learning color theory in a box, basically. So for those of us who, like, I went to art school, like I worked as an artist. Like for people who don't like, who didn't have a lot of experience with the color wheel before they got into miniature painting, you were like, how do I do this? And I think it was a really cool box to go, oh, we'll just buy this. And you're like, what is it? And it was like, it basically teaches you color theory. Like that's essentially what the kit was. And I remember at the time thinking that is such a clever product. It is very focused. It's not focused at, true beginners because it doesn't teach you like, it's not the stuff that we would cover in our starter paint lesson, but it's also like, it's not really aimed at like veterans because it's like, it's a technique that you kind of learn in the middle. So it's a really, really clever kind of like, it's like a 200 class, right? It's not a 101. It's a 201. So like they're assuming you have this, and then Banshee's like, here's why color makes sense, and here's why you use these things. And to his point, it's the rules and the foundation that are there, but that's not a style thing. Like that's just how color works. So just a very, very clever product. And again, he has a really good mindset, and seeing this interview explains it a lot. Like because his mom was a teacher and he wanted to be an instructor and kind of looked at it both from the student's perspective and from an instructor's perspective and asking questions and stuff. So it was very much like I'm going to focus on something that like, this is just the way that it is because that's how color theory is. Like you can't have your own version of color theory. There's just color theory. How you utilize it is up to you, but like you have to understand it first. It was just but it makes a lot of sense to seeing this interview and kind of like how his thought process functions and like his sort of structure and the way he sees himself. So
that was talking about his parents being teachers. That was another fun part, was that my mum was a teacher as well.
Yeah.
So
you guys are twins.
And that same sort of period, like my mum taught like kindergarten, first grade, second grade, kind of thing. So pretty wild. But no, he's definitely a great guy. A lot of fun to talk with. He's as you saw, he has a lot of ideas and a lot of passion.
Yeah,
and he is quite direct. And I'm sure that like it's something that he's heard his entire life, no doubt, which is why he's always he like comments on it. I'm trying to suffer. I'm trying to make it more appropriate, but it's just the way I am.
Yeah,
and that's great that he knows that, and it can just be, yep, here it is, take it or leave it. But yeah, definitely awesome. It'd be great to have him back on in the future, where we can maybe you and I can do a like surprise Sunday show or something like that.
Sure. Yeah.
Where we get that opportunity to go through a number of different topics. But yeah, moving on, because I'm again cognizant of the time. So immediately after that, I went and had a shower, took Lucy to school, and then I went to work. Anastasia Loukrezi is from Greece. Just doing some fantastic work. We mentioned before, composition, lighting, ambience, emotion as well. So much emotion packed into what she does.
That's really cool.
And you're taking the normal format, I guess, for appearance might be something that's like a 4:3 ratio, which is what we expect to see on a screen, or it might be a square, which is what we expect to see on Instagram. But she really goes into pushing some dimensions.
Yeah, she has some very unique stuff. Like her shapes and her like sort of dimensionality is in her area is a lot different than most people would focus on.
Yep, absolutely. One of the cool things, I'm not sure if you mentioned it you might mention it in the interview, but it might be something we talk about afterwards. But in the book, we're going to be talking a lot more about that particular aspect as well.
That's super cool.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. This piece is amazing. She loves the cool sort of like statue tones, like the blacks and grays and into like the greens, like deep greens. Yeah, absolutely. And this piece she did for one of the two pieces she did for Roman Lepat's Beyond Challenge.
Yeah, his astronaut challenge. I see his little astronaut in the corner.
Yep, down the bottom here.
That looks like abstract art. Like I would have that like on my wall. Like that's just cool.
It is amazing, isn't it? Yeah. But
she must do a lot of like mixed medium stuff. It looks like she does a lot of like she must have experience as like a canvas artist because like a lot of like the textures and like the dimensionality she has. It's stuff that like you would see in that style of painting. So
yeah. So let's check it out. I think there we go. Let's jump in and we'll talk to Anastasia. There we go. Hi, everybody. I'm here chatting with Anastasia about her. Obviously, this was not the same morning. This is previous Saturday.
This is 2 hours later.
No, this is the previous Saturday at 8 a.m. So anyway, just there we go. Art, about the art that she creates, where it's come from, where it's heading, where does she find joy in what she does, and all that sort of craziness. So thank you for joining me this early in the morning, this early in the afternoon for you.
No worries at all. Early in the afternoon is very easy for me. Thank you for joining me this early in the morning for you.
Not a problem. No, it's all good. Cool. But yeah, first off, thank you very much for joining us on this The Art of journey and experience and whatever it's going to bring. But it's super cool to have you on board.
Oh, it's an honor to be here. Honestly, I didn't expect that, and I thank you for having me. Like thank you for having me.
No worries.
What's going on, kind of thing.
No, all good. I think I've been following your miniature painting for probably, I'm gonna say about 3 or 4 years now, and right from the first moment that I saw your work, it was like, okay, follow, cool, let's with everything that's going on, and just seeing the pieces that you're creating, the way you're refining your work, each each piece that you work on, each iteration has been amazing. But as people might know, I love a good origin story. So we're going to go way back, maybe not way back, but we're going to go back. And I'm going to ask, how did you first get started in creating art or creating something? What was your first sort of experience of creating?
That's a funny story because, like, I remember, if you want me to go all the way back, I wasn't a really how to say, I wasn't good at things while growing up, and art was not really in my point of view. It wasn't an option. So growing up, I don't think I was consuming a lot of art. I was reading a lot. My dabbling with art started actually by writing or trying to write my own stories when I was little. And then it kind of escalated. I followed a path completely different to art. Like I studied to be a nurse.
Okay.
So I was kind of doing that a little bit in between, writing a little bit, being tutored by one of the writers here in Greece, like helping me out. And then it kind of disappeared as a passion. Like I just went into the whole now let's work kind of thing. This is a dream. This is not supposed to be
Right.
Art is not a path. This is what I've been taught. Like art is not something. It's something you do on the side. It's not something you actually do professionally. So I was completely out of it. Fast forward, I don't a few years. I was always the one that was picking up a camera every time we're going somewhere, taking pictures of anything I could find. And I don't know how that light bulb came up in my mind. I'm like, maybe photography is a thing, right? Like people work as photographers, right? Like there are people that do this professionally. So yeah, in the midst of the Greek crisis, when we started, really having it bad, I was like, I'm gonna stop my nursing job and I'm gonna start studying photography.
Right. Okay.
So it was my first introduction to art was a leap of faith, is what I'm trying to
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So picking an amazing time to do
it was great.
time to go, this stable job, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to nice.
Why I'm so young, like I will figure it out eventually, like it's okay. My people around me were not happy, but
yeah, it is amazing when you can make those decisions. I always sort of thought that people talk about regrets and different things, but I always think that you shouldn't regret decisions that you've made, or making a decision. The act of making a decision is an important thing to do. So when you choose to do something, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, but you can't regret
the art of making a decision.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel to me like when it comes to intuition and like this kind of big decisions, back then I was just a little bit naive. I was young. I was like, it's okay, I will figure it out. And I did eventually. But I growing up, I really do believe intuitively, if you feel like this decision is scary in a way, maybe walk towards it a little bit more. Like, I don't know if that makes sense. So,
no. Yeah.
I'm not telling everybody to take a leap of faith and leave everything behind to, maybe it's not your style or your drive, but it's a good thing to explore. If yourself, like if your body and your mind is telling you to go towards it, maybe dip your toes a little bit, see what's up, go towards it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's cool. I like that. So photography then. You're taking this leap of faith. You're now working towards photography as a career. Tell me a bit more about that.
So photography brought me to, I studied for a couple of years because I had zero idea how a camera works when I entered the school. I was like, I like taking pictures. I'm here. Hi. After that, it kind of evolved. I did a lot of theater work. Through photography, I fell in love with light and how important it is to communicate different emotions and different scenes. I started working a lot with theater, actors, musicians. That was my main part, my main job. And then through that, I started doubling. I doubled just a little bit in lighting design in theater. I was helping the directors kind of light the show. This was for me like a thing, and how lighting is different in each kind. Like I learned through photography that you should use this type of light with this type of face, or when you want to communicate this feeling, then we go to theater. And light plays a huge role on mostly the timing and the color of the light, and how slow or how fast it pops or it comes up, or which part. It's not that much this part of the face of the actor is better illuminated.
Right.
Which was kind of my previous perception of light. And through theater, I was like, wow, okay, now we have to think about time, movement, what the actor says, how the light can enhance what the actor says, and how the light can basically go together with the directing.
Right.
So through that, I again started dabbling a little bit through a little bit of video and cinematography, and how the different compositions and the different kind of camera angles can communicate different things together with the lighting. So it was like a constant chain of me being mind blown of how different aspects of the same thing can communicate something completely different in small branches, different branches of the same art, in a way, of a visual kind of art. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. I think, yeah, it's something that we don't think about. We react to when we see it.
Yeah.
When we're at the theater, there are so many things that we pick up on subconsciously,
Yeah.
or that we've been trained to be aware of, or whatever, so that you can do those sort of things. But yeah, it would have been fantastic to be going through that and having to consciously sort of have that in the front of your brain all the time. Would have been amazing. So I guess my next question from there would be, as you were going through and doing that and doing your photography, did you feel that you were perhaps documenting rather than putting yourself into the photography?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question. Yeah, actually, yes. And this is, I think, why I kind of burned out in a way with this art form, because I started by wanting to create portraits, different kinds of concepts, doing lighting, getting makeup artists on board, getting models, doing like my own concepts. And then it kind of like my career kind of led me more into a more documenting kind of photography, which I still find very interesting. Try to tell someone's story, trying to tell someone's story, and then like, you're a musician, you are a director, I shoot backstage with some of the bands here. So it's like I'm trying to tell the story of the band, and it was always interesting to me to have these conversations with them and to think about what is the best way for them, for their story to be presented. It was a really good job. I loved it. But yes, I started losing myself through that. It was very focused, and it's okay. It should be focused on how to present your client's story.
Yeah.
And they have different aesthetics than me most of the times. They have different likes and different. We don't always necessarily overlap. Very rarely we overlap with the client aesthetic wise. So I started slowly losing a little bit of that initial spark. But the thing that kept me going was the people. and the
Right.
emotions and the stories and the way I was called to kind of adjust to it and tell their story their way, the best way possible that I could give them.
That you could deliver.
Yeah. But then it was a very gradual thing that I stopped, because while during that I was also like doing my own thing, doing my own shoots, going on locations, taking my friends with me, doing pictures, making nice art. But I figured out that it's slowly, like, I didn't want to grab a camera again. Like, I was like, this is work. I edited, I'm done. And it started going down. I am still at the point where I am about this. I'm still a little bit PTSD, let's say, with photography. Yeah, but I feel it's gonna come back. I feel miniatures and this kind of art form does help quite a lot.
Right.
To be like, okay, it's a different thing when you pick up a camera now, and it's a different thing when you picked up a camera like 3 years ago or 4 years ago was my last personal project. Like
right.
That. Yeah.
No, that's cool. That's great. It's an important. I always find it's fascinating, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
The understanding of what you think about, and it can help me whenever I learn about it. It can help me adjust my perceptions, or understand there are other ways of thinking and approaching stuff. So very cool. We might take a break there, and we'll come back in a few minutes and with some more questions about miniatures. Cool. So there we go. That's the first part there. One of the things that I've just typed into the chat was that those sort of conversations about what you're doing and why you're doing it, when you're doing it, it's always, as I said, I think it's fascinating. I'm really interested in that sort of thing, and understanding that when you're there as an artist to record something. Sometimes perhaps a band might go, we want you to photograph us because we love your style, we love your approach, we love the stories you tell. Other times it's, we're here, you've got to tell our story. It's something that can go back and forth, I guess. All depends on the situation, but yeah, I always find it fascinating.
Like, how old is she?
I have no idea. I haven't asked.
I find it hilarious. I find it hilarious that literally during the Greek economic collapse, she was like, I could finish my nursing degree and have a stable job, or I could quit and become a photographer. Like, I was like,
I think
she
finished her nursing degree.
Oh, right, okay. But she just switched careers. Like, that's
just working as a nurse and dispensing.
That is I appreciate. And like, I appreciate the level of like sort of intestinal fortitude that it takes to just be like, yeah, I'm gonna try something completely different. Like, it's like the Monty Python skit, like, and now for something completely different. Like, when people do that, you're just like, what? Yeah, that's just daring. I love it. Like the brass.
One of the things as well that as I speak to more and more of the artists about these kind of things. And in particular, European artists, for the longest time, as we were going through, like, watching what miniature painters were doing in Europe, and then seeing how that continued to grow, but track along behind in the US and in Australia, that kind of thing. It was like, oh, it's because there's so much art there. They're encouraged to do art. There's so much. Being an artist in Europe is no big thing. Everybody that I've spoken to is all like, oh no, I wanted to do this, or I was thinking about doing that, or and somebody said, no, get a real job, don't starve, get a real job. So it's fascinating just to see that juxtaposition, I guess, which is great. But yeah, there we go. Just saying chutzpah is as far as the choices made. Right. No, I love it. Any other thoughts?
No, like I said, it's the funny thing to me is like the fact that a lot of these artists that we talk about all the time,
Yep.
I'm never going to meet them. Like a lot of them don't come to the States really for stuff. So,
yeah.
And it's not like I'm going to Monty Sansevino anytime soon to be like, well, I should throw my weight around. Like that's not happening. So,
I would love to go, and hopefully maybe next year. We'll see how.
Sure.
But yeah, we'll jump back in. Fuck. There we go. Very cool. We might take a break there, and we'll.
Cheers.
Miniatures. Oh yeah, that was a funny part. Everyone I learned about it can help me adjust my perceptions.
Sorry about that.
Or understand there are other ways of thinking and approaching stuff. So very cool. We might take a break there, and we'll come back in a few minutes and with some more questions about miniatures.
We're just going to come back now.
Miniatures.
Okay, and we're back, and this time we're going to talk about miniatures.
Miniature time.
So we're talking about how your the spark, the creative spark there for your photography was waning, and how did you find miniatures then as an outlet?
It's a funny story. It all happened during COVID. So we were playing. I'm a huge D&D nerd. I love playing D&D with my friends. I love all about this type of immersive storytelling. And a little bit before COVID hit, we were talking about. Sorry. Oh.
Not sure what happened.
I think it disconnected for a while. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. Let's go from the top. Okay. So yeah, I love D&D, and a little bit before COVID hit, we were talking with our friends to maybe like have our characters as miniatures and stop doing the fights with like theater of the mind. Maybe actually make a tabletop with it. Then COVID hit, and I got left with some miniatures. And I was saying my photography kind of spark was kind of going down. I couldn't go out. I couldn't take pictures. And I'm like, okay, well, I started painting the miniatures, and then I started building little scenes around them just to take a picture. I'm like, oh, I can take a picture with those, and I don't need to organize this whole like location and makeup artists and models and stuff. Like I have them there. They are already like,
and if you need to turn, you can just turn them.
Yep. Yes, there you go. They don't even need to breathe. They just sit there. Yeah. It's crazy. And yeah, I started like finding kind of things around the house to make like sand with, and like different, like I had some little foams that I was making terrain for D&D. So I used those to create like little textures around them. And then I was putting them in a little table and taking a picture, like saying a story through that.
Right.
And slowly, again, the picture kind of side started going down, and I was more and more interested. I started going through the rabbit hole of all the different techniques and what you can do and how, because of course I started with base coat, dry brush, wash. Hey, I'm amazing. Yeah, as we all did. Yep. And I was like, oh, you can do that too, and you can do that too. So I started slowly figuring out there are better miniatures than the ones that are bigger and that are different, and there are tabletop and there is display. And slowly I was like, what's going on? This is a whole new world. So I started slowly painting by myself a little bit. And then I started taking some classes with Dimosthenis. He's a very good Greek painter here. And I painted, he was talking about Monte San Savino. I'm like, Monte San Savino, what is that? Why not try our luck? And I found a really good miniature, and I was like, okay, I will come just to see how this feels like, because I was so excited for just painting. Camera was like far gone from my mind. It was like, wow, this new hobby is so exciting. And I went to Monte San Savino and I got the best of standard this year. And I was like, oh, okay, wow. That was unexpected. And also, like, okay, I actually truly enjoyed it. I did bring some of my photography knowledge to the way I paint, and I still do a lot. I keep going back to the fundamentals of photography and composition and the atmosphere of the theater and light, and So, this is basically how it was. Just a chain of fortunate events, I guess, that led me to, that really lit my spark towards creating visual art with my voice in it more.
That's the part of it, right? That's the key thing there.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that I've noticed when you're talking about something that I think drives you is that learning aspect. When you were talking about learning about lighting in theater and the sort of the exciting ways that could be, the different approaches told different stories. You have the same look on your face when you're talking about learning painting techniques, that kind of thing. So there's an excitement. You're excited by learning new things or learning in different ways or having your mind blown, basically.
Yeah. Oh yes, please. I don't think I will ever stop. Sometimes it's exhausting to just wanting to learn every time. Sometimes it's okay to just sit with your project and be like, I'm gonna do my comfort zone today. I'm just gonna do what I like and enjoy it. And if you have this rush of excitement every time you want to learn a new thing, and every time you're like, it can be exciting, it can be exhausting, it needs a little bit of a balance. But I don't think I will never ever stop wanting to learn more.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So one of the things that I think that you really managed to capture fairly early on, I'm going to say, in your miniature painting is emotion, and that basically presenting something that evokes a very strong emotional reaction from the viewer. Do you think that's a direct sort of result of your work with theater and photography, or is there something else that has sort of come along and helped you put that in there?
Maybe I think it's an amalgamation of both. I think it's me kind of subconsciously sometimes putting the things that I've learned through photography and theater and trying to document other people's stories. That makes it easy for me now to kind of speak about my emotions towards the art. I feel like there are a lot of subconscious choices that are like have become a little bit of a muscle memory for me, and like other people can do it consciously. But where for me a very important part of communicating an emotion is leaving it, having the impact there of the feeling, but not over explaining the feeling too much.
Right. Yeah.
Because I want people to see it and see something of themselves. Not everybody can see something of me. Like I made, for example, this big, the one that we have on the cover with the big head and the lady on top. I made it because I felt I was a phase in my life that I felt heavily judged.
Right.
For the different aspects, but people came to me with, this spoke so much. I have imposter syndrome. I have anxiety. I have the feeling of, it feels like God is there and like looking at me, and it feels like, and I'm like, why should I block this wonderful, wonderful, different voices of people and different perceptions of people while looking at this. I wanted to speak, but I don't want it to say a very specific story. I just want it to be impactful enough to evoke a feeling that is close to mine. And then many people come to me like, why did you do that? I'm like, okay, I will tell you why I did that. But you tell me first, what do you think? And what does it make you feel? Because this is what interests me the most. Like, how do you perceive this thing?
Yeah. No, that's great. I think being able to do that, I think as a lot of us think about storytelling and try to create, or basically try to tell stories, we do fall into that trap a little bit of, let's make sure it's obvious that here's the main thing that's important for my story here that I'm trying to obviously put forward, so that the first thing somebody says is, oh, that's despair, or that's anxiety, or whatever it might happen to be. Being able to, leave it vague isn't the right word, but leave it open enough, perhaps, to various interpretations is cool.
It's not a bad thing for me, it's not a bad thing for people if they want to communicate something specific and they want it to be clear. It's absolutely fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just feel like, for me personally, a big part of art, a big part of completing the circle of art is the viewer's perception. I feel like the viewer is completing something I made in a way. So I think it's just two different approaches. Maybe at some point I would, okay, I want you to see this specific thing. I don't want you to see anything else. But I feel like it boils down to the emotional impact factor. The emotion doesn't have to be the same. It just has to be created in a way when you look at it.
Has to be creative and impactful, right? Yep.
Yeah, in a way, guide the eye to see something. And I'm very interested to hear everybody's somethings, either when they create or when they take a look at my art. This is the fascinating part of. This is why I loved also taking care of other people's stories, as we said in the previous, because it's an interesting, to me, emotion and human interaction and different perceptions is what makes this world interesting to walk in a way. Yeah,
that's fantastic. So at this point, we're recording this a little bit before the release of the start of the Kickstarter the Kickstarter campaign. It'll probably be seen by folks on the Kickstarter campaign and then on BuildPaintPlay. How are you feeling about it all? About the idea of writing a book about your art and your progress, your journey?
I feel like you spoke to me. You spoke to my little child's soul, because if you really think about it, I need to combine the first thing that I wanted to do as art, which is writing, and now bring this, having a full circle with miniature art, and having the being lucky enough to have the privilege to work on writing about my art is both exciting and terrifying at the same time. It feels like give me a second. Sorry, repeat the story again. Repeat the question again, because I got lost in my own
question. Exactly, but just how are you feeling about the whole thing of it, like the
I feel excited. I feel terrified, in equal parts, and I'm very happy and honored, and I didn't expect that. And thank you for having me. Did I say that? I should say that.
You have said that. Again, no, all good. I think yeah, it's what we're all building together as a team of people, a group of folks who are all excited by miniatures art is it's only that even at the moment none of us can like fully understand what it might become. So that's the exciting part for me, I think. How people perceive what we're doing. Some people might see it as, oh yeah, I like that artist, I'll get that book, I like that thing. And there are other people who are like, oh, they're building a legacy, and it's like, I
this
don't
is
know.
a city.
It's like there are different approaches. People are seeing different things, and that's cool. So it's fun to talk to people at shows and other places and talk about the books and what we're doing. So I'm super happy that you're a part of this, and I'm really excited to read your writing and push your images around on the page and label. So that's my happy place. So very excited to work on that. But again, thank you very much for joining us, and we'll speak to you soon.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
There we go. So I think there is something that that we didn't mention at the end of during that conversation, but one of the things that Anastasia wants to put into her book is a lot of that information that she has about lighting, about color, about shapes, about form, format. Like, what does this mean? What are the feelings that are created by having something long and tall, flat?
Yeah.
What off center, symmetrical? What are the different things?
Like standardized form language and like sort of building blocks for people who are like maybe getting into like taking pictures of your models it's a lot harder than people think. Like even today, like the second picture I sent you, I was showing Ben the photo I have, and he was like, "What are you using?" And I was like, "I think my phone's terrible." And he was like, "Oh," so he was like, "Oh, do it like this." He's like, "Switch it on portrait and zoom out." And I was like, "Oh," which it went against what Christian told us. Christian was like, "Take it off portrait because it tries to look for faces." And Ben's like, "Yeah, but like a lot of the newer smartphones, like they work better if you do that." And I was like, "So it's different all the time, but it's the same kind of thing. It's you're learning like different ways to do something than you would normally do it, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it's different, just a different kind of take." But yeah, I like that both her and Banshee are all about like teaching people the different ways to kind of look at stuff and being like, here's kind of all the tools, like you can do what you want with them, but here's like all the building blocks kind of for you. So
right, yep, exactly. Fantastic. Dave Hummel says, awesome viewpoints. Hank has joined us. Kel has joined us as well and said, if Brent is here, I've begun stamping. Fantastic. And Kat says, yes, taking good pictures is truly difficult.
Yeah.
But yeah, so as you see, I am super excited to work with Anastasia and Alfonso and Steve, we had on the show last week. One of the things that when she was talking about that circle, completing that circle and having the viewer be a part of it, it sent me back to when we spoke to Sean Sutter a few weeks ago about Relic Blade and his approach. Talked to a lot of people about their art, and it's only those two that have mentioned sort of emphatically that the viewer, the consumer, is part of that circle for them. Very, very
I think it goes
doesn't factor as a primary part or a conscious part. It might be there as a subconscious part,
sure,
not as a conscious thing, but it's a conscious decision for Anastasia and for Sean. And
I think for a lot of people it depends on, like for most of us, I would say most of the people watching, I mean I would assume, and for most of us, when I'm painting something for like me, for my army or something I'm working on, I'm painting it for like I'm the audience, so like it is for me. But for those of us who do commission work, like, and I'm sure, you know, Gorka and you and like me, whenever I do commission work, I always want to have that conversation with the client and be like, well, you know, what are you looking for? Like, what do you want? And my least favorite thing is when people are like, well, you know, just paint whatever you want. And I'm like, but it's not for me. Like, I don't want to do that. Like this is for you. Like, you have to give me something. Like, a lot of people don't have the language because, like, maybe they don't paint. Because I've painted people who are like, I got these as a gift. I thought they were really cool. Could you paint them for me? And I get it. Like, they've never painted a model. And then other people are like, I'm too busy or whatever. So some people like might know what they're doing and they just don't have the time. But yeah, having that conversation, like, it's who is it for? And if it's for the consumer, then yeah, that totally makes sense. But yeah, it is interesting that some people just have that kind of like that's the devil on their shoulder is the oh, I don't know if the consumer is going to like this kind of thing. So I think it's different for everybody. It's different for every project. I don't think that that's one of those things. For me, there isn't like a golden rule for that.
Oh, no, for sure. Yeah, no, I think that's good. Good point there, though. Definitely good point. Okay, so let's jump in and have a quick run through all of the wonderful minis that have been placed on Build Paint Play community this week.
Absolutely.
Of course, this is the time for Jake to point out all the buttons.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, make sure while Dave's doing this, make sure anybody who's on the show or anybody who joins later, make sure you guys do all the stuff, like, subscribe, hit the bell, share us for everything. It's going to be helpful. It really does help us. It helps us kind of go to more stuff and kind of show the Iron Painter that we actually are getting out to people. But yeah, let's get into this, dude. Aaron has been killing it with all these Firstborn Marines.
Yep. Yeah, he's definitely having a lot of fun with these. So these are his Star Phantoms, and as Jake said, yeah, the Firstborn, all of the older marks of armor. But yeah, he just obviously had a fantastic time with this face and this hair on this guy.
Yeah, if anybody wants to grow their Firstborn collection, I have a stupid amount of minis that I'm trying to move. I think this summer I might do like a digital yard sale and just I have so much stuff that I'm like, I'm never gonna paint those. Like, I have mountains of Firstborn Marines from when we worked at the company, and now I've been slowly transitioning everything into Primaris because I like the scale, and also when you put them on the table, it looks weird. I like Primaris Marines because guardsmen come up to here on them, which is the way that it's supposed to be. Your guardsmen aren't supposed to be the same size as your Space Marines.
Right, yeah, for sure. But yeah, beautiful work there, Aaron. You're doing great. Very cool.
They look phenomenal. He's got a little bit of bluing going on the end of the plasma gun.
Yeah. Nice one. Brendan Bell. I think the previous week we saw some of the bases that Brendan was doing, maybe some of the printouts that he was making, but he's done these up for objectives for Trench Crusade, for our Trench Crusade campaign.
You can never have too much terrain.
Yep. So definitely all good. Piles of crates are the best objective. But yeah, looking very cool. Again, like simple, straightforward. It's done a great job.
And texture does a lot of the heavy lifting. Like, I would spray these white, hit them with contrast paint, and then dry brush them. You'd be right. Or you could just spray them brown, hit them with a wash, and then dry brush them. They'd be look.
Yeah, absolutely. I think these ones were sprayed black, dry brush brown, like a couple of browns.
Yeah, they look great.
Definitely good. Excellent. Fantastic. And Brendan's also done a little bit of extra work on his heretics.
I really like his like mechanized suits. Those are cool.
Yeah, the anointed at the back there. Yeah, they are pretty cool. Got a machine gun on the left and a heavy flamethrower on the right.
Oh, those are anointed. I just thought they were like evil mechanized infantry.
Well, essentially, he's done them as that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But not the heavy machine armor, but just as like a step below.
Yeah, those are cool.
But yeah, looking good there, Brendan. Nice one. Next up, Kate. Kate posted a few photos. It's just one of them. She was talking last week about how she wanted to do a whole army of basically naval raiders, not naval raiders. It's like the naval breaching team and that kind of thing.
Yeah, these are the inquisitorial.
The Star Striders.
Yeah, the Euclidean Star Striders.
Yep. So so these are just a couple of ways that she's converting each of the models.
Yeah, some kit bashing, lots of hand swaps and weapon swaps.
Yeah, and those the las guns, so they've got slung over their back.
Yeah.
So, normally, I think they're normally shotguns. But yeah, these conversions are looking good. Just got a few different examples on the Facebook group, so definitely go and check that out.
I love those helmets.
Yeah, they are very cool. Oh, Star Warriors. There we go. She said she's up to 60 of them.
Euclidean Star Striders.
Yep. So many Aragorns, says Cal. But yeah, looking great there. Caitlin, nice work.
He's one of them. They're Rangers.
Yep.
Oh, who's this?
This is James Marsden.
Yeah. Correct.
Yes. So yeah, this is Cyclops, of course. Yeah. So Chris Cork has done another awesome X-Men here.
He's killing it. The pink inside the highlights on the yellow.
Right.
You can really see it on the seams on the boots.
The boots, yeah.
But you can see it as at the edge of his wrist.
Yep. Up around there. Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Been great. Giving that great sort of extra depth.
Yeah, cat. Again, no one does yellow like Chris. You're not wrong.
Absolutely. But yeah, looking really good. And that blue looks fantastic as well.
Yeah.
It's really nice. Great sort of volumetrics there. Nice work, Chris. Chris has also been doing some characters for Dark Angel's army.
Nice.
Got that cool
his Dark Angels are super bright. Like when I do Dark Angels, mine look almost black. He's got them like they're like Kelly. Like they read like, if you didn't tell me they were Dark Angels, I'd be like, these are salamanders.
Right. They are down that sort of path. There's a little bit more blue.
They're a little minty. They're a little minty.
Yeah, a little bit bluer than cooler green than salamanders might be. But yeah, looking good, Chris. I know you're having a lot of fun working on those.
That model on the left is like one of the best models in the range.
You think so?
Oh God, I love that model. The guy, like the duelist with his two, he's got the slung bolter that has, it's a combi bolter, so it has an underslung flamethrower, and then there's a knife in the thing on the ground that he killed. He's holding a combat knife, and then he's pointing at you with another knife. Like, I love this model.
I think I have one sitting on there's one on my desk somewhere. It's probably fallen off, but we'll find it.
That's the Vanguard. I think he's a Reaver lieutenant or a
he's
Cursor lieutenant. He's a Vanguard lieutenant, but
his I think his title on his data sheet is lieutenant with combi weapon.
Yeah, it's just sick.
Yeah, nice work, Chris. Looks great. Next up, Dan Osborne.
Working on some giant robots. Always a good time.
Having fun with this Lancer. Looks really cool. This Night Lancer.
That's very nice.
Really going to town on the decal work there. Piling in and around those big icons.
I'll have to talk to Dan about working on my new nut. I'm always curious if he does all of the panels first and then masks them and does the trim, or if he does the trim and then masks it and does the detail on the panels.
Right. I think the first one.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think he does. I think he does all the base colors, and then masks that. Does the trim, then does the
weathering and detail.
Yeah. To bring it all tight all together. But yeah, great work there, Dan. Nice one. Next up, so here are some things I've been working on. So that last night I finished up the Hunter of the Left-Hand Path. It's the guy in the middle there with the crazy bow arm, standing on that line of Jabir that he's killed.
Gross.
I got the two Hell Knights either side. I switched out the helmets and the give them those man catches. And then I've got my Praetor at the back there.
Yeah, the bullheads are cool.
Yeah, yep. That was a lot of fun to do, and fairly straightforward as well. Didn't take long in digital kit bashing. So nice one. Next up as well, I've done some more work on the Jeff Smith miniature. I have Jeff's face and the metallics to go, and then I've got some snow to put on the base, and it will be done. So we're getting very close to the decals as well. I'm going to do a decal on his shoulder there.
Very cool.
But yeah, coming along. I think on the brush, I'm going to try and paint Old Wolf Studio.
Oh, nice.
Which I think will be fun. Fun to try and do that in very thin brush and gold paint.
Very cool.
Should be nice. And then the guy on the right is a new model that I painted up for my Knights of Avarice warband for Trench Crusade.
They're the warband, like everything has to be at least 40 ducats.
Oh no, everything has to be at least 80 ducats. Yeah, 80 ducats. Yeah, ducats. This particular one I mentioned last week. I think at our game, 3 out of the 4 of us rolled up the Book of Golem. We found a Book of Golems, so we get to build a golem. I went for massive stature and inhuman strength. So he's strong and tough. So he has great maul there, reinforced armor, shield, and he's tough, and he's got the artificial keyword. So he's going to be real sort of pain in the butt to try and shift.
Nice,
which is pretty neat. But it was cool to use. Finally found a use. I've been wanting to paint that model for ages, and that's basically the stock model from Bestiarum.
It's very cool.
One piece. So, so that was cool. Nice and fun to mess around with. Next up, Fabrice. Fabrice has been doing some more work on his cyberpunk bits and pieces. He painted a lot of bikes over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, very nice.
But he's done this little.
I still like that cool transport thing up on the left. I think it's awesome.
Left, yeah, sort of the black Ops piece.
Yeah,
it's neat. I love that the ambulance, that hover ambulance over there.
Oh yeah, in Shadowrun that's a dock wagon, but yeah, it's
dock wagon.
It's basically like a hover ambulance thing.
If you have if you bought into the insurance, they'll
correct
pick you up. If you haven't,
correct.
Screw you, buddy.
The best is if you have the platinum plan, they'll literally fly into a firefight and rescue you.
Oh wow, okay. Nice mid-game extraction. That's great. So here are a couple of the some of the cool bikes that Fabrice has been working on.
Those look great.
Yeah, yep. That little burst of the that fluoro paint at the front.
Yeah, like for the light, I like that.
Yeah. Shining forward there, but they're looking very cool there, Fabrice. And here are a couple of others. I love this kind of emoji mask on the bike on the left.
I like how he's steering with his foot so he can shoot.
Yeah, shoot that big grenade launcher. It's pretty amazing. And that's the bike with the sidecar.
That's very orky.
It is. It's wild. Wild.
That's like oh my god, what is it? That's like the Digga knobs from
from Gorka Morka?
Yeah, from Gorka Morka.
It's got that kind of feel to it. Actually, the 2 red lights and that green light at the front of it, and the other light, it just kind of gives me a polka dot kind of vibe.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, that mask is great. Dave, I'm loving that. Excellent work there, Fabrice. So obviously having a lot of fun with those. Next up, Sulin. Sulin's been painting up some more models for this kill team.
Yeah, that's the original Kill Team Cassius. They used to come in the box, and it came in the Death Watch box, and it came in as its own as Kill Team Cassius.
Yeah.
So he's got the Ultramarine brother on the left, who's, as always, just a tactical marine, but he looks cool. That's one of the best helmets in the range. Still, the Mark 7 with the Victory Laurel on it is just awesome. Yeah. The Space Wolf on the right, the skin tones he has, that's incredible on a Space Marine head.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. That just all the work on that face is just beautiful.
Yeah.
Just
very cool.
But yeah, awesome stuff there. And here are a couple of others that he's working on. A Dark Angel, and
there was a whole period in time where they were like, "How to make him a Dark Angel?" And they're like, "Put him in a bathrobe,
make him a robe guy."
Yeah, as long as he's in a bathrobe, everybody will know it's a Dark Angel. That is one of the coolest Terminators they've ever made, and I'm so bummed that it's not like true scale now.
Right.
He has the giant like heavy flamer that he's holding with one hand, and then the best is the power fist mounted melt-a-gun that he has.
Right. Yeah.
I was like, that is phenomenal.
I gotta admit, I like all the other parts, the rest of the salamander sort of iconography and like the Drake skin tabard, that iconography on his shin pad there. But yeah, Sulin's doing a great job on these. They're looking fantastic.
Absolutely crazy. Those are awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
I assume he's going to do some cool basing because they're all blue tacked.
Yeah. I'm not sure if he's doing these as a commission or not, but if you go and check out the posts on the Facebook group, you can see a couple of other models. He's about halfway through, 3/4 of the way through the Blood Angel.
He did like the old school eyes on the Terminator 2. He's got like the color slices and the white dots. That's old school. I love that. And then the blue, again, the bluing on the melt-a-gun on the arm are great.
Yeah. Absolutely.
His armor is so cool too. He has like the Drake scale carved into the press plate.
Right. Yep.
It's like subtle. Like that model. Some of the models they're Space Marines, and then like there's some that they're like clearly the designers went all in on this guy. And they're like, how do we make him more salamandery? Like that's just awesome.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Awesome work there, Sulin. Next up, Jake. Here we go.
Yeah, this is my test model for my Trench Crusade force
Arena challenge.
Yeah, that's my sniper priest.
Yeah, it looks very cool. That's one of the plastic ones, right?
Yeah, that kit was really fun to do. She's only like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces, I think, or 6 pieces.
5 or 6 pieces. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool. Like you can pick the legs. There's 2 different sets of legs, and then there's 2 different like lower bodies, and they kind of like fit into like the robes.
Yep.
And then there's like 4 different torsos.
Yep.
And then there's like 4 or 5 different weapons, like weapon arms you can do.
Yeah.
And then there's like 5 different heads. So
yeah,
it was a cool kit. It was fun.
Absolutely. I think you picked the head that has probably been least shown. Yeah, I think it looks really cool. I like that one.
Well, originally I was going to use the one that you printed for me, and I wanted it to be I was imagining her like a battle sister,
right?
Like a nun, and the other 3 of the heads are clearly male. Like there's a guy with a beard, there's a guy with a bald pate and like the monk haircut, there's a guy with a short beard, and then there's like a guy that's wearing like chainmail coif and like a miter, like a small miter. And I'm like, it could be female. Like this is the only head that I'm like, okay, like this reads at least neutral. So
yeah, but I think it looks great.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Very cool.
It was a fun little kit to do too. So
yeah, excellent. Next up, Jason Zalagi.
Very cool.
Name correctly there. Painting up some of these guys from the Dark Water box set. Do you remember what these?
Oh God, I don't know what they're called. They're definitely Nurgle demons. I don't know what they're called though.
Yep, but they're pretty big. They're kind of ogre sized.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm loving the work that Jason's done on here. I think his rusty weapons are looking very cool.
Yeah, those are great. That sword on the left is awesome.
Yeah. Just got that great splatter look. Oh yeah. Nice one, Jason. And that green is very
it's super punchy.
Very punchy. That's a great word for it, punchy. I love the fade that he's got going on here from that.
Yeah.
The bright yellow green through up into
I think if you look at the guy on the left, I think it's all like the weird hanging, like not fur.
Right.
Like it's the same thing on his arm. It's like moss that's hanging off the rocks.
Yeah.
So I think it reads like a transition, but I think it's the moss that's hanging in front.
Yeah,
but
could be.
Really cool though. I also like how that guy has like rocks all over his shoulders and like that like marker thing on his back.
Yeah, so
Heresy. Yeah, see, Kel gets it. Every Space Marine should have a mohawk. That's the way it's supposed to be.
Yep, absolutely.
Everyone wants to know how he's 2 hours late and we're still only halfway through.
Excellent. Nice work, Jason. Because Dave was talking for the whole show.
It wasn't me this time, Heresy.
Bit of a switch up. Justin McCoy. We saw Justin's Hellhound last year. He's working on some more Deathcore of Krieg. It's a nice little artillery piece. Got some great.
I like how it's kind of in between like 40K painting and like historical. Like this reads like this could be on a battlefield somewhere.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yep. It's got that great texture, the weathering, the dust accumulation.
Yeah.
You find along there. But yeah, looks looking fantastic. And there's the damage from the front. So you got some sort of whitewashing that's rubbing off.
The Kriegers are rad. They're such a fun looking army.
Yeah. But looking really cool there, Justin. Nice one. Next up, Kelly's been a bit quiet lately. But it's finally excited to basically get some more paint on miniatures. This is a Dragonborn, is that right?
Yeah, that looks like that's a D&D mini, or at least it would be used as one. That's a Dragonborn. It's either a fighter or a paladin.
Right.
It's fighting some huge cat, which is crazy.
Yeah, it is enormous. Look at the length of those whiskers.
Yeah.
My goodness.
He'll be swallowed whole.
Way bigger than the sword.
He'll be swallowed whole, or at the very least batted off the table.
Yeah, batted off the table is more likely. But yeah, excellent work there, Kelly. Looking great.
I showed that photo to my wife and got a laugh out of it.
Yeah. Excellent. Next up, Luis. He's got finally closing in on the final stages of these guys. Who are these again? They're
the Deliverers.
The Deliverers. Yep.
He's been killing it. We actually talked the other day, and I was trying to give him some advice because he wants to run these as a unit.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, my advice would be, you should break off the right arms of all of these guys, and they should all just have either paired lightning claws,
right? Or
you should break off the lightning claws, and they should have either chain fists or power fists. Because the way that this unit works, is it wants to deep strike in and be on top of something. So you'll get one round of shooting, but they want to be stuck in combat. That's what they want to do. Right. So I was like, I'd split the unit. I would do I think you can do 3 heavy weapons. So I would do 3 heavy flamers, and I would do maybe 4 or 5 bolt guns or like storm bolters. And then all those guys should have chain fists or power fists. And then the whole other, like the majority of the squad, like I think it's a 15-man squad.
Okay.
So I would do 7 or 8 with lightning claws, and then the rest of the guys have power fists or chain fists. And I was like, that way you can pulverize whatever is near you.
I'm going to recommend to Luis that he approaches them that way in the game, but just pop a little thing on the base to say, like, a little notation. Well, these guys have got 2 lightning claws.
Well, again, you're a 40K guy. It's a lot of WYSIWYG.
Well, sure, but at the same time, he's done a beautiful job here. The idea of just going through and
sure. I mean that's why I said just I would just snap off the lightning claws and just paint that red. You know what I mean? Like, because it's weird. They all come with a power fist, and he was like, oh, but they were supposed to have lightning claws, so we gave them all 1 lightning claw. And apparently, there's been a lot of people online have been complaining about this Terminator kit in particular because the weapon options aren't there. Like, there's all these left-handed weapons, but no right-handed weapons. Right. And people were like, hey, you haven't made any kind of upgrade sprues. Like, what are we doing? But yeah, it was just a WYSIWYG thing. And I was like, I'm like, 1 lightning claw is not super helpful. You want a pair, or you want to just give them power swords. Like, that would just be.
Okay. Anyway.
Again, that's the play side of the build paper.
Yeah. Sure.
They do look phenomenal. I love the skin tones he's got are great. His gold is phenomenal.
Yeah. Excellent job there, Luis.
He has the tiniest transfer ever on his chest crest.
Yep. And, beautiful work. And Luis is now going to be working on some Legio Custodes.
Yep. He just got into these yesterday.
Yep. For his for Heresy as well. But yeah, obviously enjoying himself already. Excellent. Very cool. Dave almost says, Jake, he doesn't have 160 Terminators in all the variants and build configurations.
And I was like, not yet.
Excellent. Next up, Mark Maxey. So we were talking about Mark's buildings last week.
Yeah, his dwarf vacation cottage.
He's tiny Noom. But yeah, so the one on the left is the one that he worked on and he's not particularly happy with. And the one on the right is one that his wife found and bought for him. So he's going to be doing some a little bit of playing around and sort of rebasing work for that house on the right.
Nice.
It's going to get some love. But yeah, enjoy that, Mark. Next up, Patrick. Patrick's doing some more work on his Imperial Guard, on his drop troop army. So these cool Taurus Venators.
Are those the ones from
Necromunda?
Necromunda, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the Enforcer ones from Necromunda.
It's hilarious how much these look like the original Forge World Elysian drop troop ones.
Yeah. Yep.
Only they're not resin. Like it's resin. A nice plastic kit.
They're bigger, and it does look very cool. But no, he's done some nice conversion work there with the driver and the crewman.
Yeah, super cool. That definitely fits the aesthetic, like the drop troop list.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And he shared another photo of this as well, which is kind of the color scheme that he's going to be heading towards.
Yeah, yeah, we've seen the Sentinel that he had?
Yeah, the drop troop Sentinel. But Patrick just said he just got the camo sprayed tonight while listening.
Nice.
So yeah, definitely cool. Nice work, Patrick.
Yeah, they look awesome.
Excellent. Next up, Pete Haston. Pete's been doing some more Trench Crusade, of course. And this is his Desecrated Saint of Envy.
Dude, like, I mean this in the best way possible.
Yep.
He's gross. Like, I think Pete's work is awesome, and at the same time, I don't want to look at it. Like, it is so cool. He's done such a good job with it. There's so much storytelling in this model. He's really done a brilliant job of kind of bringing this thing to life with the paint job and, you know, all the different like effects he's used, but also yuck. Like, I mean,
I think it's fantastic. I know that I know why you're feeling it's gross.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it is. As Sean said, yes, that's horrifying.
Yeah,
it is. One of the cool things as well that Pete's doing is like that big halo in the mat behind him.
Yeah.
He bought a packet of stuff. I don't know how you describe it on Amazon, and this was like one of the largest ones in there. But each of his models in this warband are getting a halo, which I just think is fantastic.
Undeserved, completely undeserved.
But no, I do love this. Just loads and loads of skulls. Piling it in there.
It's like an Adrian Smith drawing.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's great. Loving it, Pete. Nice one. Next up, Reese. So I think about a month ago, we saw Reese's conversion.
His Perturabo.
Yeah, he's Demon Perturabo. So now he's gone and painted him up. He just looks great. You can feel that sort of the sort of magma heat inside him. The engine's chugging.
It's such a crazy model.
It is. It's an awesome conversion and just looks great. So I think those shoulders are from one of the knights.
Yeah, that's from a Knight Castigator, I think.
Right. Yep. I think you're right there. It's part of a like box dreadnought at the front there for the sarcophagus or the torso of Perturabo.
Yeah, and then he's got like the chest plate. The chest plate is from a Leviathan dreadnought, and then he's got one of the old school Rhino or vehicle like lamps over his right shoulder. And then the big back piece, I want to say those are Sentinel legs that he's using as like servo arms, and then he's got like some vehicle weaponry. He's got like the old hull mounted like heavy flamer. He's got like one of the chainsaw things. I think that's from one of the bigger. I think that's from the Primaris Tech Marine or the Primaris Apothecary.
The chainsaw.
Yeah, I think so. The little one.
That's the chainsaw he's got up the top there is from the.
The Sentinel. It's from the Sentinel.
Yeah. Heresy thinks the shoulders are from an epic scale Saturnine. Possibly, they are pretty big. Yeah, but looking great there, Reese.
That's pretty cool.
I think you brought that. You pulled that model together really well. Looks awesome. Nice. Next up, Sean Gleason. Sean got in some games of Blood Bowl recently with his Orc Blood Bowl team.
Gotta love the troll quarterback.
Yep. And it's always nice when you can fit your entire team in a convenient carry tray.
I like how he's got the little rubber bands on the guys.
Around the basing?
No, like see the goblin on the right?
Oh, around the top. Okay.
There's a rubber band around him, and then the guy on the next to him has one on his arm, and then the orc in the middle has a yellow one around him. I wonder if he uses those to like signify like who has the ball or if somebody's injured or something.
Different status. Maybe somebody might be rather than laying the models down. Could be a down model or something like that. Sean's in the chat, so you'll be able to let us know, Sean.
Interesting.
And here's one of his games.
Yep, that's about right with the works. Half of them are laying down because they botched their dodge rolls or whatever.
Right. Oh, there we go. The rubber bands are the skills.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So, there we go. I guess yellow might be block.
I'll have to dust off my wood elves.
Goblins green might be dodge. But yeah, glad you had a great time playing some Blood Bowl, Sean.
Nice.
Cool. Next up, it says Stephen Green. It should say Stephen Ryder.
No, that's Stephen Ryder. I'd know his work anywhere. You're like, is this a model from 50 years ago? Okay, then it's Stephen Ryder.
Yes, absolutely. But these two are nice old models. But the one on the left there,
I'm assuming that's supposed to be Horus.
It is. Yep. And he said he took the colors from it from a recreation of one of the some hieroglyphs, not hieroglyphs, but what do we call those panels? In a Egyptian tomb. So
white,
cool.
Yeah, pretty much white, gold, and lapis is pretty much the colors. So
yep. But I was gonna say the look of them is very much you take that model and put it into a Tzeentch army, and it would be one of those not a zombie.
The Carrick acolytes.
Carrick acolytes. That's the one I was looking for. But yeah, it's almost exactly the same. So great cool. Source material, I guess. But yeah, looking cool there, Stephen.
Very nice.
Nice work. I do find it quite amusing that the nipples poking out. The hair chest there.
I love the old school sculpting cracks me up, dude. Like this guy looks like he's wearing like fur pants.
Right. Yep. Yep. Disco fur.
Yeah, and he has a skeleton. He has a skull belt buckle holding a skull belt holding up his fur pants.
Yep. But fun stuff. And I think this piece as well. Do you know what this is?
I have no idea.
I think this is a Zwill.
I believe you.
There is Zwill is. But when I saw it, I was reminded immediately of Cal's piece from last week or the week before, the floating brain.
Oh yeah, it reads very similar.
Very similar, yeah. But this one's a little bit more tentacly, a little bit more sort of octopode. Yeah. But yeah, fantastic stuff. There we go. So yes, as well from Dark Horse Designs.
Nice.
But yeah, excellent. Dave Hummel's heading out. Good night, Dave.
We're heading out too, Dave. This is we're a half hour over, so
we are. Sorry about that, folks. So yeah, fantastic work there, Steve. Looks great. And finally, next week, so we're going to be talking with Clay Williams from Mastermind Models and Miniatures, and of course we have the creepy not Dan. Dan looks
great with a mohawk. I think you should grow one.
You should definitely do that, or we should glue one on. something like
Yeah,
that.
I mean, whatever.
However we want to do it. But yeah, so we'll have Dan on as co-host, and we'll be talking with Clay. So Mastermind Models and Miniatures, Clay's been running a studio for a while, a commission painting studio. I think he's got 16 or 17 artists that are working for him. And he just recently, I say recently, a couple of years ago, opened a store in Huntsville, Alabama. So it's going to be cool chatting with Clay. Excellent. Excellent. What's the going rate for overtime on YouTube? Who knows?
I have no idea.
Awesome.
I'll try to invoice for it. I don't know if it'll work, but
yeah. Excellent. So
Kat, next week I'll be at ACD Expo in Madison, so I'll not be around. I think I'll be traveling when the show gets in. We fly into Chicago, and then Alan, who's a friend of the show, Alan and I are going to be driving out with our buddy Doug. So I'll either be getting there or settling in when the show goes live, and hotel internet is not the best, so it seemed like not the best idea.
Yeah. Fantastic.
But all right, well, a huge thank you to the Army Painter. Thank you to the artists for doing the interviews with Dave, and make sure you guys hit the link below. You can go check out the Kickstarter. You can back it and get the newest books, whichever ones you want, or all three. If you guys need anything else, let us know. Make sure you post your models in Build Paint Play community. Make sure you like and subscribe, hit the bell, all that good stuff. We will see you guys next week. And as always, do not forget to build, paint, play.
Shut up and sit down.